Alright, today we're looking at the derivative function when it comes to inverse functions. As a reminder, to find an inverse, all you do is you switch x and y and solve for y. And look what happens. In these lines here, we end up with a reflection around the line y equals x, which is something we've talked about before. And look at these slopes. One is 2 and one is 1/2. They're reciprocals of each other. Keep that in mind because that's going to be big. Now, so you can see what we're looking at here. If I said f of x equals this function here, x squared minus 4, and I want to know what f inverse of 12 is, that means in my original function, this is actually a y value. I want to set this equal to 12. That means x squared would equal 16. That means x would equal 4 if I said I only wanted positive numbers. That's how I would find these answers. So essentially what happens is 4 is your x value in your original, and this 12 is your y value in your original. The x's and the y's switch. So what my derivative function is, and that's what we're looking at today, is derivatives of an inverse. If I have that, f of x equals y, and then that means that f inverse of y would equal x. That's what this means. So if I do f inverse prime of y, I can find the derivative of that by doing 1 over f prime of x. And these are specific numbers, x and y. So what we're going to do, let's look at this one of how we're going to solve these problems. Let's start with this top one, f of x equals x cubed minus 1. I want f inverse prime of 26. That's an x in this one. That means that it's a y in my original function. I want to solve now for x. That means x cubed equals 27 or x equals 3. So that means this is the same as 1 over f prime of 3. Now what is f prime of 3? Well, what we do here is we just use our regular differentiation. How do I find that derivative? That would be 3x squared. So that means that f prime of 3 is what we want, would be 3 times 3 squared, which is 27. So that means this answer is 1 over 27. Okay, we'll do the same thing for this one. We're going to set this is our y value in our original. It's an x right now, which means it's a y in our original. So set that equal to 11. That means x squared is equal to 4. That means x would equal technically plus or minus 2, but because we want positive numbers, that means we want 2. So that means we want 1 over f prime of 2. Again, what is f prime of 2? Well, let's figure that out. F prime of x is just 2x. So if I want f prime of 2, that means I'm going to have 2 times 2, which is 4. So my answer here is just 1 over 4. Now here's one other type of problem that we can have that you'll see a lot, especially when it comes to a college level exam. You're given a bunch of functional values and you're given a bunch of derivative values as well. If I want to find f inverse prime of 4, again, that means this is a y value in my original function. Where do I have a functional value that equals 4? That's right here at f of 3. That means this is the same as saying 1 over f prime, not of 4, but of 3, because f of 3 equals 4. Remember, we switch our x and y. So what is f prime of 3? Well, that comes right here. 1 over now 1/3. 1 over 1/3 is just 3. That's how you find your answers here. So let's do the same thing for this one. I'll do this one in yellow. F inverse of 1. When does my functional value equal 1? That's at f of 4. So I now want to look at what is f prime of 4. F prime of 4 is negative 4. So 1 over negative 4, which is the same as just negative 1/4. Here's another example, just so you can see it one more time. F inverse of 2. When does my function equal 2? That happens at f of 5. So I want to now do f prime of 5, 1 divided by it, because it's the inverse. F prime of 5 is 3, so my answer is just 1 over 3. For the next one, when does function equal 3? That happens at f of 4. So 1 over f prime of 4. F prime of 4 is negative 1/3. 1 over negative 1/3, which gives me a negative 3 as my answer. And this last one, do it in white. F of 5. 5 happens when we have a functional value of 3. So now I have 1 over f prime of 3. F prime of 3 is 1/6. 1 over 1/6. So my answer is 6.